Welcome to Actually Contrøller, the podcast that is actually Contrøller, and we are actually in control of everything you are hearing right now. I'm so very sorry. What up, everyone? Welcome back to Actually Contrøller. You got Steve.
This is Chad.
And Chris.
We got another three-person running this time, again, kind of like the last episode, but...
Yeah, not three-parter. We're not going to...
No, but nope. Chris...
depends how
graced us with his presence this time instead of Jeffrey.
I'm back from World Tour.
Yep.
Weekend tour.
How was World Tour?
World Tour of the Midwest.
World Tour of the weekend.
Everybody take a drink.
Did you enjoy yourself?
I don't remember.
He's just
it was a long... I do remember. I did go back through the messages. It was a long 34 hours. Lots of driving to go almost to Wisconsin is where I ended up.
Ooh, well, that was last weekend.
Mm-hmm. That's why I missed the podcast.
Yeah. Yeah, this weekend, though, you were also...
So this weekend I had two shows. Yep.
If you haven't figured it out, Chris is a busy fella.
I try to be.
Yeah. Except for when he's not.
Yeah, it's either feast or famine right now. I kind of realize that. So,
yeah, if it's not, it's a complete dead weekend. Hey, what are you doing? I have no idea.
At least we keep him busy with other things like sitting here and talking with us.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, that's the thing is I do have, not to make the podcast about me, guys. Come on.
It's fine. We can start out about you.
I treat drums like a second job. So I have a schedule.
Yeah.
Every Sunday I'm with you guys. Every Tuesday I'm with the System Dudes. Every Thursday I'm with Decade. And then I just kind of sprinkle in whatever else I need to do, and Fridays and Saturdays are reserved for shows or supporting shows or
being out for the purpose of music,
supporting the scene.
Support the scene,
be that karaoke or other bands, but music in general.
I actually try not to do karaoke on Fridays, Saturdays, so I will tell you that.
Okay,
that's for live music. That's to support the bands.
Fair enough.
Weekdays to kind of just stay public and. Anyway,
Anywho,
Chris, let's talk about Contrøller.
Contrøller Chris.
Oh my God. That might be the new nickname.
Yep, I know. So, we were kind of going over everything, and before we hit record, we were actually talking about some of the horror story moments that we've actually all individually had or seen from others over the years and everything. We thought that might kind of be a fun topic for all of you to hear, if you will, kind of our most embarrassing live performance stories that each one of us have had over the years. And I don't know if I got a really good one that comes to mind off the top. Not that I've not had mistakes. Don't get me wrong on that one.
I mean,
like what my quintessential most embarrassing one was.
I do have some stuff where like I'm looking back and watching some old performance videos and seeing like
the cringe.
The cringe and the fact that in between songs, we are standing on stage for a good solid
forever
2+ minutes just talking to each other on what we're going to play next.
Dude, if you want to talk about
you
that.
You guys not know what a set list was called?
Man, back then we just...
Back then it didn't matter. We were just...
I never realized like how bad that was, but it's funny because like my parents were at the show and my dad was recording, and like we're discussing what song was going to be next, and you can hear my dad in the tape go, "Come on, guys." And I'm looking back at it now, I'm like, oh my God,
we were burning half our set time just standing there.
Shows with the other guys where we have so many songs to choose from. Like, yeah, we'll just wing it. I've learned that we're never ever going to do that again.
Yeah,
because I'll play whatever, and because I don't have to tune anything, right? So they're like looking at each other, going, "What do you want to play? What do you want to play? What do you play?" And I'm like, we need to pick a song, guys. Let's go.
Right. I will say, if we're going to talk about that specific topic, man, I can say not with this band as much. With this band, I think we'd kind of gotten most of that out of our system, all individually by that point. Not perfectly, but much better, at least that we had a written set list going into every show.
I will say, like, our performance set list now is like go, 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 go.
Yes.
And what room we do leave for talking, we still have sound bites going and tracks are playing.
I have been pulled aside from people at our shows and informed that we, as far as they're concerned, run one of the most professional tight sets in the Fort Wayne scene that they've seen.
Oh, nice.
That's what we're trying to do.
And I chalk a lot of that up to us having the sound bites in between. Not that we're not giving ourselves the breathers, not that we're not getting the water breaks.
Like, I'm kind of hypersensitive to that too, though. Like being the drummer, like I'll sit back there and 3 seconds feels like 3 minutes. I'm like, all right, guys, let's go. It's like barely any time's passed. And I'm like, we got to keep moving. We got to keep entertaining the people. And so it's quite the opposite.
But as far as the come on, the hurry up thing, man, I was on my personal YouTube channel, just for some of the old bandmates of my old band's sake, I had uploaded old VHS cuts of certain shows we had from the previous band that you and I were in addition to the band prior to that Bob and I were in.
It's funny because this video of my dad saying, "Come on, guys," has a presence on YouTube.
Yeah, I think I remember you talking about that one.
Yeah, Image actually has a channel, and I think it's pretty much like that video, maybe another video or two, but it's our concert from Mickey and Billy's, and just like, oh my God, man, trying to watch that, I'm like, come on.
You're yelling at the guys, and they're like, wait, that's
come on, guys, let's go.
Let's flex and go.
We got another song to play.
But yeah, I mean, my first band, I mean, it's not that we didn't know what song we were going to play next, because we only had enough songs to be able to pull the one particular set and everything.
So embarrassing.
But it was still we're doing that one. No, that one goes da 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 da. But it's no. It's not that one. The one that goes da 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 da.
It's really funny to like try to
think
think
goes like that.
Yeah,
it's really funny to try to think of like what's really has been embarrassing, because a lot of times, like back my history of performing, I was always so drunk by the time I hit stage.
Yeah,
so I don't remember a lot. I don't remember a lot of my performances.
That's part of my story.
Yeah, don't jump ahead, bud.
I'm sorry.
I will say, when it comes to it, we'll kind of lead that one in a little bit to kind of set up Chris's.
Yeah, here's the layup for Chris.
Yeah, here's the layup. So in regards to a drunken one, I'm gonna actually pull him in, because this was the worst drunken story from a performance situation I had ever been a part of. We were performing at a venue that's no longer around called Drunken Monkey. It was VIP Lounge at this point in time.
Ooh.
And
right across from Boots.
Yeah.
Yep.
No.
So we were on stage, and we had all had our few warm-ups just to like shake everything off before our set, but none of us were buzzed even really at that point. We just got enough to shake everything off. And then we had a couple people there that realized there was shot specials going on.
Mid-set shots.
And so first tray comes around, we're all like, okay, we're fine. Do that one. And then 2 more trays come around, and then we had all had about the equal amount of food before the set and the equal amount of booze before the set. So as we're all taking these shots, we're all getting the same level of buzz simultaneously. And we're about halfway through the set, and that last shot that got brought up to us hit all of us at the exact same time. All 5 of us, it was a powered down robot. It was a no.
I think we've referred to this incident as the death curtain.
Yeah, because it just, all 5 of us just, oh no. Like, we got to the point where we pretty much all stopped playing at the exact same time. God. In the middle of the song. We just, no. Oh no. Oh no. And we had to stop our set for like a good 5 to almost 10 minutes. Mid-show, be like, we're going to need a minute to recoup. And we had, I can't remember, I don't think any of us, I think we asked somebody else, go get us a pitcher of water so we can try to swig this down real quick.
It's too late at that point.
Yeah. But like, some of us had the salivation going like in the mouth. It's like, if I don't get some water, It's not going to just feel like a buzz. It's going to be a show.
It's going to be a 4D show.
Yeah.
I'm about to give you some graffiti on this wall over here.
So, yeah, we had all kind of just hit that point. We muscled through the end of the set, and luckily at this point, it was us and one other band on it. It was a really more of a live rehearsal than a show type thing. We were only making whatever came in off of the door, and we were the closing act. The other band had already performed, so it's not like we were holding anybody up. And we were good with the owner. He was more laughing at the situation than being aggravated with
He
it.
got his money out of the shots, I guess. Right?
Yeah, he got more money out of the night than we got out of it, so he was still looking at his win for
because we were buying alcohol.
Yeah, we were buying alcohol.
We gave him more money than he gave us.
Yeah, we were only making money off the door cover. So, but yeah, that one
touch of those nights.
That was a rough one, though, man. The just death curve. So
so that was very similar to the one I was going to share.
So
we
Chris
had a podcast earlier. It's been a while now, but we talked about like pre-show rituals, things that you do before a show. We've talked about like your habits. Some of us smoke, whether it's green or not. I tend to have a shot and I have a whiskey drink ready to go for the set. This particular show is pretty amped up for personal reasons. There's some emotional things happening. And I had a shot, drank my whiskey drink because we were the last band on.
Yes.
Had another shot, had another whiskey drink with some friends, and decided to go get a third shot. And 30 seconds after I got my third shot, I got a tap on the shoulder.
Not only that, but that was the night I malorted the
That's
band.
what he is about to bring up.
Yeah, I got a tap on my shoulder. Hey, Chris, we got a shot over here. It's a band shot. Me, I'm feeling great. I'm feeling real good.
We got
and I'm
a fuzzy
like,
Chris.
all right, cool. Let's go take the band shot. Mind you, the shot that I just took was a Jaeger bomb. And surprise, I get a Malort shot down the gullet.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that sent me over.
The Satan asshole got him over the edge.
So by the time we took over the show, my legs were jello. Complete jello. And if
I think you said you were good for the first two songs.
Pretty much. And that's when I realized, and it was one of those like head down, stare at the snare drum. You know where the hi-hat is. Don't miss the snare. Please
don't whack the knee.
Please feet, do something that's in time. And it just wasn't working at all. And then our fearless frontman decided to say something on the microphone. He's since learned, first of all, you don't dog out your bandmates on the microphone in front of any audience.
Right. You save that for
I think I had more drumsticks than he thought.
I was only aggravated because you missed him and hit my cup.
Yeah. I was just blindly flailing drumsticks at him, and he just kept shit talking. And so I just kept pulling one up. I was making sure not to throw a broken one. I didn't want to impale him.
Yeah. I got a splinter in my eye.
But now hindsight says maybe I should have.
So one, if you have a pre-show routine, you should probably stick to it.
Yes. And don't go past your routine.
And two, don't drink out of emotional adrenaline or whatever that I'm not going to share personally,
or
for a show.
Or apparently blindly just take a band shot.
Don't take 3 shots in 30 minutes.
I guarantee I am not Malorton the band again.
Malorton.
He's guaranteeing he's not. Now, he never said he is not handing the credit card over to the bartender, who might say the bartender is buying.
The bartender just bought around
as disgust as I have for Malort, it wasn't the fact that it was Malort. That did not help.
It was for Jack.
It was the fact that I literally walked from one side of the bar after taking a Jaeger bomb to the other side of the bar and took a Malort. Like within 5 minutes of each other.
Yeah.
Justin's that bartender.
Justin is that bartender.
Yeah. He knows. He keeps an eye on the whole Malort situation.
No. The last time that I think it was you and me were up there, I looked at Justin as like. No, I think it was you and me were staying there because you had walked up. This was over at Fallon's birthday party.
Okay, yeah,
and
no drink, November.
And Chad and I were just standing up by the edge of the bar and everything. And all I had done was look at Justin. I was like, I think we're going to do a shot. And he goes, Malort? And I'm like, no, we're not doing Malort, Justin. It's like he already knows the groups that will do it and who won't do it, and he earmarks those. You're one of the Malort
You're
ones.
part of the Malort crew.
I do not wish to be a part of that.
But
What was the one we tried to do that one time? Was it Snowstorm?
yes,
That was okay.
that one. Yeah,
Wait.
we did okay
We
with
were
that
out
one.
on some random night.
That would have been Malort and what, Rumpel?
Goldschlager or something.
Oh.
I thought it was Rumpel.
Wait, was Rumpel?
It may have been.
I don't know.
Either way, it was no. It would have been the Rumpel because it was, or no,
Either way,
it was really minty. That was the point of the Snowstorm.
Rumple, it sounds
Rumple
like it would
would
be.
be
Yeah. So yeah, because it was supposed to be the Rumpel overpowered it because the cooling mintness of
It wasn't. It really wasn't.
Yeah, how'd that go?
I mean,
honestly, it covered quite a bit of it.
Oh, wow. No.
Yeah, I've actually been looking up different recipes
That was
for
good.
Malort cocktails.
Have you?
Yeah, just because there has been a few that are like, okay, so I understand how nasty this is. Like different bartenders, I understand how nasty it is. I want to see and challenge myself. Can I make a cocktail with the ingredient not being completely buried? That's actually something you want to finish the drink of. And there's a few of them out there apparently.
I mean,
but
I can understand like some kind of martinis because it's got that bitter.
a lot of them were leaning into whiskey-based ones where you're kind of utilizing it in place of the Angostoras and stuff like that.
Ooh.
So either way,
another story, not alcohol related.
Yeah.
Because we're not alcoholics.
Yeah,
I
we
promise.
totally.
You've
Side rail.
seen those fail videos where guitarists are swinging their guitar, it goes flying.
Yep.
Yeah.
Or the drummer is like climbing on top of something. I am that drummer. When I
yeah. Oh yeah, I forgot about this story. Well, no, the one that you told me that I wasn't there
the reason
for.
why I stand on my kick drum
Yep.
now. So I'm a hefty dude. I watched a drummer for Otherwise. Their original drummer is bigger than I am, and he was standing on his drum. I was like, "Ooh, I want to do that. If he can do it, I can do it." Early on, I used to square up with the crowd, so I would have my left foot on the throne,
Yeah.
and I'd have
Not
my
on the
right
kick
foot on
drum.
the floor tom.
Yeah.
Well, after years of doing that, I wore out the floor tom's tightening lugs
yeah.
on at least 3 occasions. It gave, and I'm standing up in the middle of the band's version of Radioactive because that's primarily where I would do it, and I would collapse. And there was actually one moment where I finally
You almost impaled
I
yourself.
almost impaled myself on the hi-hat. I ended up falling and twisting and inverting to a point where it almost impaled me. And I was like, okay, I got to figure something else out. So I started standing on my kick drum. And I actually, I put tape on the old legs so it would never, ever collapse. I can never adjust it from that point.
Right.
We'll never, ever, I don't use those legs anymore, but, yeah, I've learned not to stand on the floor tom anymore.
Stand on the thing that's already on the ground.
One of my other bands, the guys' girlfriends are always worried because there is a moment in this stage where I actually jump over my rack and it freaks them out. I'm like, I don't think they realize how stable it is. I don't put any pressure on the rack bar that's in front of my drums. It's more of like if you've seen them do the little fake steps where they're not really stepping, that's all it is. It's visual. So I'll jump out over top my drum set, but I've learned where not to place my weight.
Or where to
pretty
clear the
embarrassing.
foot for swing
Pretty
over.
embarrassing. Eric has hit his head before, as short as he is, trying to jump off his amp.
That would have been interesting to watch.
Yeah, it was a low hanging. We were underneath this.
That probably would have been like the rock house set up
But
down
it was
in
a real
Indy.
low hanging
yeah.
beam in front of the band, and he got up on his amp and he jumped forward and he hit his head. And the only other embarrassing thing that I can really say, actually, years ago, I almost quit that band. Guys, don't. If you have ex-girlfriends in the crowd or ex-boyfriends, whatever gender you associate with, you're still being paid to play music, so don't get on the mic and curse about how this night is all effed up and
Oh, no.
go on some tirade about the 3 different ex-girlfriends that are in this venue all at the same time and being catty with you, because you're still supposed to perform.
Yeah, because that's not what you're there for.
Yeah, I had to real quick get the manager dad mode and be like, we can end this band right now if you want to do that again, or you can be professional and we can play some music and entertain the rest of the crowd and go home.
Right.
So anyway, professionalism.
As far as a gear situation, this would have been with my first live performing band. So with my guitars, I've always used clip lock straps. I've been using them since like 97. It's just been the brand that I've always trusted for my straps. And for those who don't know, the clip lock straps actually screw directly into the guitar. So there's no component that can actually like fully fall off, like you've seen in a lot of the guitar fail videos where all of a sudden like the peg will just, and ta-da, my guitar just fell onto the ground. The problem that I bumped into with this first band, though, was I had gone in to Sweetwater, I believe. No, it would have been Mr. Music back when we still had a whole bunch of independent music stores floating around. I had gone in there and I really wanted a black clip lock strap. However, they didn't have any standard ones in stock, and I was like, I don't have time. And keep in mind, this is well before you just hop onto Amazon and just order something. It was kind of you're going into the store. If they don't have it, you're special ordering it and you're waiting for them to get it in. They're telling me it's going to be weeks to months before they get in a standard one. So I'm like, what do you have? He goes, well, we have the fully elastic black one in. And I'm like, okay, well, I don't know. He goes, actually, from what we've been told, it's more comfortable because there's less like just dead weight in one spot on everything. The weight balances out evenly. I'm like, oh, okay. Sounds cool. Sounds interesting. Let's go for that. Well, at this point, keep in mind, I'm a lot younger, so I'm a lot more nimble on stage and I'm moving around a lot more and I'm getting into it a lot more. Which
is the purpose of strap locks.
So I was doing a lot of the very, very early Korn technique stuff where I was going all the way down to the floor with the guitar. Well, because of the elasticity of this strap,
oh no,
I didn't accommodate for that, where once I stopped, the guitar was going to continue to keep going. And this was at Legends. And if you were listening to the last podcast, you know this is kind of a Stapleman venue. I went down, the guitar kept going, and the guitar bounced off the floor, came back up and smacked me on the underside of the chin. And because I just had the big chord where it's like, yeah, and I just kind of did this massive strum, so I had a whole bunch of downward force go into the guitar as it was shooting towards the floor. So
basically you're trying to throw it through the floor.
Yeah, and it just, nope, bam!
How sturdy is your stage? Oh wait, how sturdy is my chin?
How sturdy is the guitar that's hitting the stage and the chin?
Which is funny because you talk about the strap lock stuff, and like, I remember before I switched over to strap lock, we were playing Howard's Club H.
Yes.
Oh, man.
And
yep, over in Bowling Green, Ohio.
My strap actually broke. I had to do my performance sitting down.
Oh,
like kneeling. Yeah. There was no chair up there, so he's just kneeling like full huddle style.
Oh my God,
on stage for the whole rest of the set.
Yeah, that's embarrassing as hell when you're an active member on stage.
That is definitely one thing as a performing artist. Get quality gear. You don't have to get the most expensive.
No, not the
most quality gear.
Get something quality.
I had a show a couple weeks ago that my guys have wireless, but they don't have quality wireless. And during sound check, they were both the bass and the guitar were playing through the bass amp. So we got it fixed. And then during our 30-minute set, about 2/3 of the set, the guitar was just like cutting out, like I can't even describe how
frequencies were jumping.
No, it was absolutely cutting out. Like it wasn't going anywhere.
He was on a dirty channel.
Like it just kept.
So I know what gear he has, and that's the problem. There's only like 4 channels to pick from, so
no frequency.
So then said guitarist goes to grab his cable on the final song. And it's one of those coiled cables that's like air coil.
Yep.
So it got tangled up in all the other cables that were already on the stage. It got tangled up on my sample pad, got tangled up on my cymbal. It took him a little longer than expected just to pull a cable out, unwind it, and plug in and play. Because it was springing everywhere. Which was, that was his solution because he can't wrap cables. God bless him. guitarist that can't wrap cables, but but man, it was like the most awkward. And again, time for me is really aggressive, so it was probably only 30 seconds, but it felt like 3.
Why are we here
and
for
I'm
15
like,
minutes?
Oh my gosh, dude, can you just plug this in?
Just play something.
So reminds me why I don't like to play with electronics. I'm a drummer.
But yeah, I mean,
I'm embarrassed for you for that one.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, the reality is, though, if you've done this long enough, you are going to, not if, but when you have your embarrassing moments, because you're never going to have a flawless record.
That's part of live music too.
Here's the good thing, like for me being of age to drink, and most of my venues were bars. I don't remember. I probably have a lot more embarrassing moments. I just don't remember them.
Well, yeah, and I'm kind of in the same boat too.
To your drunken thing, that's as a performing artist, you do have to learn how to just take it in stride and be like, all right, strike it from the record. It's redacted. That never happened.
Which is funny because I talked about this last week with our venues that are no longer around, about how it was a battle of the bands night. I'm in the pool room where the drummer's getting his stuff set up and he's banging on his drums, and I'm sitting on the floor next to him. I am so drunk, and I look at him. I'm like,
so drunk.
I'm like, stop playing. He's like, what? I was like, stop playing.
Noise. No.
And then I puked.
I'm so drunk, I have the hangover now.
I puked right there on the floor.
Oh, man.
Got up, puked on the floor again on the main walkway of the bar. Got outside, puked some more.
Did you guys win?
Yes.
Oh, Jesus.
Yes, we won that night. It was like first round of the battle.
Yeah.
We won that night. It was amazing.
That the glorious wooden nickel one at
No, this would have been one of the Legends battles.
This is Legends battles.
Okay. Yeah, so the bar was really low. I got you. Okay.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh my god, that I do feel bad. Do feel kind of embarrassed. And another embarrassing story is we brought up last week as well with the whole baby powder. With
oh dear God,
it was super embarrassing seeing like the effort that they put into putting that on, and like the whole time, like the rest of us are like, why?
So to fill Chris in, and if you didn't really hear this one from last week, so we're friends with him now.
Yes,
but Nick Mead, his old band, they leaned into all the industrial tropes back in the day. One of those is to baby powder yourself, kind of get the extra white, vampire corpsey type thing going on. Well, they baby powdered themselves in the bathroom, unbeknownst to
and
me
destroyed the bathroom
or anybody else, but did the baby powder cloud in the bathroom right before they walked on stage. And
but seeing that stuff just like falling off of them on that stage and realizing how dangerous that stage is going to be, it's like, oh my god, I don't want to get up on that stage.
Well, we still had time to try to get up on that stage, though, because they walked off.
Yeah.
And we couldn't find
that is
them.
one thing I've never done. I've never thrown up or puked during a...
So, our old drummer...
Wait.
Wait.
Our old drummer, not from this band, but from
6 Lives Out.
6 Lives Out. So, our old drummer, Jeff Palicki.
Mm-hmm. Oh, wow.
We refer to this as the water drum story.
So, this was before I was in.
Oh, yeah, that's what this was before you were in. So, Palicki had gotten, as you kind of had your story where he had his normal routine, this was one of those times where he also had gone past his routine and went way past his routine. And it was also, in addition to that, we were usually first or second on. This time there was 4 bands and we were 4th on. So we had extra time.
You have to cater,
extra
you have to
time
cater
to
your
drink.
routine.
Yeah.
Yep.
So he didn't. He started drinking his post-set amount before set because he was used to that time of night being when he was. So he had already started into his post-performance drinking.
Wasn't that post-performance drinking?
And so we're up there. And we're maybe 2 songs in, and I just look back at him, and the the look that I know he had, the stop playing, was the same look that Palicki had on his face at this point. God. I look at him and he just has a, oh no. And I'm like, oh no. And then all of a sudden, I just see him go for a roll down. And as soon as he gets over to his floor and he's already pivoted, I can tell that amount of movement that quick was not a good idea. And he projectile vomits straight down at his floor tom as he's going for the strike down. And it's just a shot like the Blue Man Group's water drums.
You can stop describing that right now.
Straight up in the air.
Yeah, we can water drum this.
No, you know.
It's just blam. I'm like, oh no.
So November 4th, 2017 will live in infamy.
But so, you never did that on the stage.
I tell you, so we say don't drink emotionally and make sure you know you're set. And I was doing a wonderful job. It was a great night. It just happened to be Controller's CD release party.
Yes.
And my other band was on the bill, and it was a great night. We had what was it? Apple pie moonshine.
Yes.
Homemade. So basically, apple flavored Everclear.
Yeah.
Apple cider flavored Everclear, which tasted great and is no longer.
Yeah, the balance was perfect.
It's no longer part of my palate right now. I'll just say that.
Yeah.
Never.
No more apple pie.
Drinking all night, good mood. Was in a good headspace.
I think
had a great
and
show.
I both ended up drunk
the
and
owner
sober
of the
like
club
3
came
different
out,
times.
gave us props, and decided, we're going to be his house band for the next year. That's not exactly what he said, but and then 2 individuals come streaking through the green room, said, "Hey, we're going to smoke. You want some?" And I'm like, I'm in a great fucking mood.
Yep.
I'm in such a good mood.
And you're already done with your job.
Flex and go.
Let's flex and go.
And by this time, I think the show was practically over. Like we were all partying, hanging out.
I think we were still getting ready to perform, but the whole rest of it had already.
We performed super late.
We go off in a little corner of the green room because there's more than one room.
Yeah, that was the smoking room of the green room.
It was a puff pass.
That was the green room of the green room
because there's 3 of us, so it was literally just puff pass.
Yep.
Puff. They get up and like, okay, cool, let's go out and dude. I'm like, I
can't move.
And then it was I'm like, I'm going to fall asleep right here, right now. I should go home. I live 4 minutes from here. I'm going to go home. And I was smart.
Yes.
Preface, I locked my keys in my car, so there was no temptation to drive.
And keep in mind, everybody, he does have the keypad code on it, so he
No, not this vehicle.
Oh, that's right. It was before the Flex.
This is Coach. He didn't have that, so I had my spare key at home, so there was absolutely no crisscrossing. I had to go home to get the key to drive my car.
Very nice.
4 minutes away, by the way. I'm like, I could make it home.
4 minutes in non-drunken stumble.
So down the stairs as quick as I can because I'm stumbling, so gravity's taking place. I get downstairs, I go out the back door, there's bleachers. I'm like, I need to rest.
Yep.
It wasn't because I needed to rest. It was because
well, you did.
I had to relieve my stomach of everything that I had that night.
And keep in mind for everybody,
raining.
Yeah, it's raining at this point in time.
I remember that. And everybody's
and it's November, so it's not warm summer rain.
I'm not within, like, you can't really, like, I'm not right outside the door. Like, you have to know where to look for me.
Yep.
I distinctly remember the other drummer that decided to smoke with me is like, I'm gonna take you home. I'm like, no, I'm gonna go back home. I'm just over here. like I've made that walk before. It's not very far. 4-minute drive. I'm walking along the building, and he's walking along with me. It's just, I remember this. Chris, I want to get laid tonight. I'm taking you home, and then I'm going home to get laid, and you're not going to argue with me. And I'm like, fair point. So I waited for him to pull up. We made it halfway to my house, and I still had to pull over. 4 minutes. I'm telling you, a
4-minute drive. He couldn't make it all the way.
We got into my addition. I'm like, whoa. He's like, whoop. To go further with the story, I remember dropping my spare key because when it hit the concrete, it made a very specific noise. My pants were off in the front door. I don't know why I took my pants off first.
At least they were inside of the front door, not outside of the front door.
I passed out in my bed and was the walk of shame like 7 p.m. that I could not peel myself out of bed. So, so there is the great controller story. Not but pre-controller Chris.
Pre-controller Chris.
So if anybody ever listens back on any of the old episodes, and we're talking about the CD release show situation, and Chris goes, "Shut up!" That's why he was saying, "Shut up."
It is now out there.
Yep.
I had a great time. I was in a good mood. And it was a good show. It was a good
to
night.
give everybody else a little context, it's not that we all also weren't all going, has anybody seen Chris? Because it wasn't like he was outside of the bleachers for 10 seconds. So nobody thought to, maybe wonder where he's at.
Time
he was out
had
there.
no meaning for me.
For
I don't
you
know.
at that point, no. For the rest of us, we were all, anybody seen him?
It's always weird to
like
get that
10,
drunk
15
that
minutes.
Time has no meaning.
Yeah, there's like 10,
I remember
15
people
minutes
calling
had
for
gone.
me, but I was like, it was like, I can't. I'm just here.
Yep. But yeah, 10, 15 minutes had passed by and like nobody had seen you. And it's like, what happened? Well, we were in the green room, green room of the green room.
I remember like laying there going, I cannot sleep. Like I knew I needed to sleep. And like, that's all I had on my mind. And like,
he was popcorning it.
Shut up. I got up and I literally made a beeline down the stairs. And they had those
Keep
side
in mind,
stairs.
the side
Those
stairs.
side stairs were still open.
These
So
are
I'm literally right at the back door.
For your sake, thank God you didn't have to go down the back room stairs. You would have clobbered your forehead. We all would have found
I
you.
would have fell. Because like I said, gravity
Those
had
things
a
are
lot
so
to do with it.
Well, not only the steep, but I'm talking the part where we all have to duck.
Yeah, I have to duck too.
Yeah, that part that we all have to duck. You would have not cleared that.
Hey,
we
we're
would
getting
have.
away from the topic. I had a great show.
Yes.
So Chris
There's
had
nothing embarrassing about the show.
So
Chris was not.
Chris had his stop playing moment.
Yes.
I was done. It wasn't had nothing to do with anybody else.
So I'm not going to disclose the guy's name because he's still very active in a lot of different respects in Fort Wayne. However, I will share his story.
Fair.
Because I don't think he's active in any bands anymore currently, but he had a stint where he's active in politics as well too. So I'm just, that's why I'm leaving the name out. But we played shows with his band quite regularly. And at this point in time, my wife's text notification just went off and freaked Chris out.
Is that what it is?
Yeah. So
Freaked me out. Somebody's up there going, "What the hell?"
Yeah.
That sounded like a demon.
Yep. But we played shows with this band quite regularly. However, at this point in this guy's life, he wasn't able to really control his booze intake very well. And if he thought it was gonna be a party, he was gonna be the one to make sure the party was going at the pace he thought it should be going.
Oh God.
And so they're on stage and he's just in that, you guys aren't getting into it on stage with me the way that I think you should be. Let me show you how I think you guys should be getting into it on stage. So he's just running around. Granted, he has like a 30-foot cable, so he has enough room for the most part to get back and forth on the stage. But it's still a cable at the end of the day, so things can kind of get, a little tangled up if you're not careful. So he's running up to each one of his guys, and he's just kind of getting in their face with come on, you need to get into it too. And he's running up to another guy, you need to get into it. Runs finally back over to his spot. Keep in mind, the cable's been getting drugged back and forth numerous times, and it's kind of
probably
tangled up in a few spots. And then he starts to turn around to look at the drummer in his spot, not paying attention to how close to the edge of the stage he is. And in addition that his cable is half tangled around a couple spots. And for anybody who kind of understands the layout of a stage, almost all stages have reference monitors for the band to be able to hear what we're playing. When you don't have an ear, so that's how you hear what's going on. Well, the stage had all the floor monitors up there, and he had his back turned to it, wasn't paying attention, did a full backflip in his drunken stupor off of the stage over the top of the wedge monitor, and because of the tangling, pulled his entire head system off of his cab, slammed it on the floor, face down into the floor, his entire rack system, snapped the cable off in his input, snapped the cable into a 90 degree in his base, Because keep in mind, he still had his bass attached to him once he hit the floor.
Well, that set's over.
And so he's looking at it going, keep in mind, he's still absolutely annihilated drunk. So he kind of has on the floor just laying there for a good couple minutes, I think, trying to understand what just happened.
How did physics not work for me?
Yeah. So he finally gets up. He runs, drunkenly, like angle runs back over to the stage, gets on the stage, lifts his amp back up, realizes that the one input that he had the cable in is snapped off, can't use that. So he figures out what he can bypass, grabs another cable, realizes the cable's broken in that bass, grabs his other bass.
Oh, good. He has backup.
So they were only down from him being involved for one total song. But I ended up finding out the next day, he did, because he also was Mr. I Need Boutique Everything. I don't deal with crappy sounding equipment. I have to have boutique everything. He had a little over $9,000 in repairs.
What?
For what he did to his bass, his cabling, and his rack system. For all of it to be properly repaired.
Make sure you buy quality gear.
Gear.
Make sure it's affordable.
But also make sure that you treat it with respect.
And then you also treat it well.
Yeah. So, yeah, I'm not going to share the guy's name, but there's, even if you, again, aren't the cause of the embarrassing story, if you've done the music thing long enough, even if it's not yours, you will witness other embarrassing stories.
I don't know if this is really anything on an embarrassing standpoint, but just sitting here listening to stories, one story just popped up in my head. I was playing this house party out on Till Road, and it was big house party.
DCS house?
Yes, DCS house.
Yep.
And there's a lot of alcohol going around, a lot of just everything going on at this party.
Party favors.
Yes, but at some point, my old drummer Randy and I, we were like, man, we're hungry. So we're going to run up to Arby's and go get something to eat. And we do. And,
up off of Lima?
I think it would have been like DuPont area.
Yeah, because I was trying to think what was up there by that point in time that the DCS house was going.
But it's funny because it's not the fact that we went to go get something to eat. When we got back, the place had been popped by the police.
Yeah. That happened regularly, though.
They were breathalyzing everybody, and hitting up a lot of people for underage drinking. And at this time, I was still not 21. But we had ran and gotten food. So when we got back and we told the police, like, oh no, we just got here. We went to have something to eat before we came.
Well, you need to get out of here. Okay.
No, I was like, but I've got somebody here that I'm here to spend time with. I need to go find them and stuff. And the cop was like, cool,
I would have been like, no, I'm
it's
out.
also pre-cell phone days. It's not like you can text them like,
exactly. Yeah.
I was told to leave the premises. Hope you're okay.
Luckily, though, there was like a mother hen, Cheryl Sorrell,
yep,
who was pulling like a lot of the underagers into the garage at the time. It's like, come hide in here with me. The cops everybody had the breathalyzer straw to prove that they had taken a breathalyzer test. So those were getting passed off to all the underagers.
Here, take a straw.
Yeah.
Hi, just take a straw.
But it's like just dodging that bullet. Possibly getting hit at that party. It was so weird.
I never actually had my first breathalyzer until I was 37. And I was on the way home from a show.
Wasn't that the one that was up in
we went up to Cheers in South Bend, and
I thought that was the
it was supposed to be Jeff's first show with TKB, and it ended up being his second, but a mutual friend of all of ours convinced his mom to let him drive and he'd be the DD home. Well, this individual, whether he's stoned or sober or drunk, is the same. You don't know what level he's at all.
Isn't that always awesome?
Yeah. So we go up, we play the show. I have like the one drink, knowing we got to drive 2 hours back. And he's got like a pitcher, and it had to have been at least 2 pitchers that I counted.
Oh.
So 3-4 hours, 2 pitchers really isn't too bad. I don't know what he's drinking in between or if it's the same 2 pitchers or what. We're driving back. First of all, he forgets to turn the lights on the car. So
that's an immediate notifier.
Well, you were in town. He's driving someone else's vehicle. Okay, oops.
Yeah, but that's still going to be a hey.
So we get, I don't know how many of our listeners are from the area or will know, but we're getting off 31, and we're turning onto 30, and we're coming past one of the major truck stops that are there. And the light turns green, and he decides he's going to race me. And I'm like, I'm already doing 70 miles an hour and a 60 mile, 65, 60?
60.
So he decides he's going to race me, and I'm already doing 70. He goes through the light, green, and right as soon as we both enter the intersection, a cop is going the opposite direction, does a super quick UE, and pops him. He ends up getting incarcerated. Jeff and I go, and I'm like, am I supposed to turn around? I don't know what I'm supposed to do.
Right.
Like, I've never been in this situation. So we get down to like another gas station, which felt like a 30-minute drive, but it was like 10 minutes later. And we pull over, and Jeff messages his mom, says, hey, what do we need to do? Do we need to come back? So we go back. And because I was part of the party,
right,
they figured I was drinking, and they were talking to me, and I was like, no, I had one shot. I literally only had one shot. And so I'm good. And they're like, well, out of precaution, we have to breathalyze you. They breathalyzed her, and she blew a .07, but because she was actively drinking up until the end of the show, they knew her BAC was going to rise.
Right.
So they breathalyzed me. Again, naive here. I've never done this. And I know .08 is the Indiana legal limit. And I'm watching the number go up. 1, 3, 7, 9, 11, 13. And I'm like, oh shit. I'm sober. What's going on? I know these things can be wrong, but they're not supposed to be. What's going on? Well, I'm telling the truth. I'm not lying. I only had one shot. It was like 3 hours ago. I'm like, my brain's going
freaking out
really quick. And as soon as it stops, he goes, okay, you're free to go. And I'm like, I kind of turned my head, and I blew a .013.
Gotcha. Big difference between that.
Yeah, there were so many digits. There were so many decimals or decimal places beyond the decimal point that
But you're not focusing on that.
Well, I know. I was watching the number, going, "Oh,
no,
God.
I'm not at 13. I'm not at 13."
I'm like,
jeez, how are you still walking, sir?
So yeah, she had to get in the car. We all had to go leave her vehicle. It had to be impounded, but.
Yeah,
I guess that's a show story, post-show story. But
no. We all have those moments too.
I enjoy these stories, and I hope all you enjoy these stories.
She's not gonna watch it. I know she's gonna hate that I shared it, but she ain't gonna know.
And that's why I threw Jeff Licky's name out there. I know you ain't gonna watch this one. So.
I mean, it was 2017. It was April 2017. So long enough ago.
Yeah. So. Don't want to run on too much about any of the other stories and everything like that, because we could keep going with a lot of those.
Oh, God. We have stories.
Yeah, we have stories. But
if you enjoy the stories, let us know.
Yes.
I don't have any more stories. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, you have none.
We have no stories. we are all storied out.
I told you, I tend to just file 13, man. Move on. Next show.
Yeah. Doesn't mean
that's how I had to survive this weekend. I had such a bad show Friday, so many mental mistakes that I would have.
So next week, let's hear about Chris's mental mistakes.
So right brain compatibility is a real thing.
You know what? With how much you Rolodex for how many different bands, you're allowed to have a few mental faux pas.
Oh yeah.
But
seriously.
Anyway, thank you for tuning in on this one. We will see you in next week's episode. Later.
Bye.
Very sorry.
Made sure to do that for you last week.
Oh.
Thank you for listening to Actually Contrøller. If you liked what you heard, please consider following us on all our socials. You can easily find us on all the different platforms by going to linktree/Contrøller33 or scan the QR code if you are watching the video version of this episode. Thank you.